Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I see quite a few faces. Some of you I've given a bit of a call to. Thank you so much for taking the call. For those who couldn't, I sincerely understand. Um, I just maybe want to run through. I'm Zakia. Um, we have quite a good afternoon, or at least an hour that we're wanting to share with you guys. We've got a good speaker, we've got some good updates that are coming, and we've got some time for questions and answers. So, just to put you guys in a bit of a mood for what we've got planned, I just want to ask a few questions, just to get your minds working further as to what guys can do and how it can sort of help you guys. So, if you're looking at multiple systems being used, if you're looking at lots of duplication, ask yourself these questions. Is that something that you guys are actually struggling with? Or are you looking for a system possibly that can make it more efficient for you guys to actually collect some more school fees? And then is your finances and your admin or your learner data, are they speaking to each other? Are they integrated? Are they helping each other along as they should be? And how does that affect your day to day? How does that affect your time management and all of that? We've got Ms Clariska Claassens that is going to give us a lovely presentation that she's put together for us. Got some more people. And without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Clarissa so that she can give us an overview of what she's got. Clarissa?
Hi, Zakia. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Hi,
Pardon me.
everyone.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry, Clarissa. I just wanted to say that we are going to record just for those who aren't able to obviously attend with us. But we want to obviously let everybody know that that's okay. Clarissa.
Thank you, Zakia. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I am Clariska Claassens. I'm the debt collector at the Kalen Primary School. We've been fortunate enough to make use of the system since 2020, and I will be giving you an overview and sight of the system as a debt collector. So we're going to go through a few features and line items on how RISE can assist you with not just school collecting, but how to manage your learner and parent data on the accounting system. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you. One minute, please. Right, can you see my screen? I trust that you can view what I'm seeing.
We can see it.
Excellent. All right, so what you're seeing now is the home page on RISE. So this is basically the menu and a work menu with different tabs that you'll be using to operate. We're not going to go through every tab. I'm just going to touch base on a few important ones that will assist you. So the first tab I would like to show with you is under sales. Under school, and we're going to have a look at students. On this screen, you will have a list alphabetically showing all the learners currently on the accounting database. So I'm just gonna choose one student for you, A252. All right. On RISE, you'll see that we have a student portfolio linked to each account, and this is what it looks like. So we're currently looking at a child, Corin Adams. Here you have the child's information, the grade, the class category, CMS number, And on your right, you'll be viewing the parent information. So we've got the mother's info and the father's info on the right. And we don't just view the general information on this tab. RISE allows you to add medical information and discipline documents. You'll also be able to view marks. And my personal favorite under this tab, you will see under notes where, as you operate as a debt collector, you can make notes on the student profile when you have met the mother or father, if they are eager to discuss payment arrangements or they plan on collecting exemption documents. Here you can see that Mrs. Adams collected exemption documents on Monday, 12th of June. And I've also just added a note that the outcome letter was mailed on the 21st of June 2023. So this is a nice feature because as you work through your accounts, you build up a database on where you've encountered a parent, at what date, at what time, and what was discussed. Was the account discussed? Was there a dispute with parental information, or did the parent negotiate arrangements? So this is just a nice feature for myself because I can keep track with whom, where, and when I met with a parent and what was discussed. So looking at the child's portfolio, you'll also see at the top you have other information tabs, but we are going to look at the inactive tab. So I'm sure most of the schools, you know the procedure nearing the end of the school. When you're primary school, you have your bulk grade 7s going to high school. So RISE allows you to make this learner profile inactive, which will safeguard you and so that you not accidentally invoice a student account that's no longer in the school. I'm just going to demonstrate to you. So it's just clicking the inactive button. You click on the link, you give the date. Let's say the student is leaving on the 24th of October 2023. If you show all the reasons listed below, you can see child has immigrated, has been expelled, or going to high school. In this situation, we're going to say the learner went to high school, execute, and there you have it. The child is now marked inactive, which means when you do your batch invoicing, this learner will not fall under the list of students to be invoiced in the new year. So this is a very nice feature to have on RISE. And if you were to accidentally make a child inactive, you can just undo it with a click of a button and you are back on track, you're back online, and you can carry on. While we're on the student account or the portfolio, I want to draw your attention to the document journal. All right. Now, the document journal gives you an overview of what's been going on this child's account for the past 3-4 years. Now, we've been using RISE since 2020. I see I've now selected a child who's only attended the Kaylin as of 2021. Nonetheless, the document journal allows you to see all actions that's been made on the student account. So this is also an overview of what you will see on your statement, depending on the date and range that was selected. So here you can see child's been invoiced for 2021, payments received, handover journal that's been actioned, tax invoice for a new year, and so on and so forth. So not only do you get a quick overview of what's been happening on this child's account, by simply with a click of a button, you can access the tax invoice and view further information in seconds. So here you can see the tax invoice has been loaded in 2021, the range, the address is the parent that's opted to be the responsible payer, which is the mother, address, everything you can view. So this feature, it's very convenient when you have telephonic inquiries with your parents. So let's say you have a Mr. or Mrs. Adams phoning, you open the student's account, you view your document journal, and just by viewing what's in front of you, you'll be able to answer questions. They have an inquiry. I have got an SMS from attorneys. Yes, ma'am, you've been handed over in December 2021 to the amount of 9,880, and or I've applied for school fee exemption. Yes, ma'am. I see. You've applied on the 21st of June and your outcome has been processed. The statement will reach you shortly. So you are also able to access the statement by just a click of a button. And this is what a statement will look like. And from here, you just select email and you send your statement to your parent with an email body where you explain what was discussed telephonically and that the matter has been resolved, and or that you await feedback from this parent to resolve the account inquiry. So the learner portfolio or the account here is very useful and very easy when it comes into play. I don't know, for those who are currently using pastel accounting, I've only briefly used pastel accounting, and one thing that I quickly grew tired of with that account system is that you need to open and close windows as far as you move, where in RISE you can easily access different line items on the system immediately. So this is very handy, this is very easy to operate and user-friendly. As you can see, when in doubt, you just click on the tabs and follow through. So this is the learner is the student account where you can view on the system. Now, the next item I would like to discuss or just show you is what we normally do every year. So we charge school fees annually, therefore we only have to invoice accounts once a year. Or depending on when a child will be attending the school, maybe we've got a child leaving the Kaylin in the middle of the year and we have a new student joining in the middle of the year, you'll still be able to invoice nonetheless. So after your annual budget meeting, which we had last week, Wednesday, we can start loading the new school fees for the new year. Now, where do we start? We will start with our inventory, which you can allocate under the warehouse tab, first item at the top. Now, as you can see, we have our school fees already loaded since 2022, 2021, and 2023. So this is where you will be loading your school fees on the system. It'll make it easier for you when you do your invoicing, which we will be demonstrating shortly. But I just want to show you. Let's see, we have primary school and pre-primary school. So if I open pre-primary school fees, here you'll be able to add your description of the amount you'd like to load and your code. Now we use certain account codes for our budget. So we've used 0045-001, which to our office means pre-primary school fee account. And we've loaded our price. The setup is also easy. You just make sure you've linked the expense account as cost of sales and that the budget that'll reflect on your budget versus actual, which we will get to later on in this meeting, is also slotted in 0010, and you simply say save and close. It will be loaded here, and if you are a school that not only wish to use RISE for your school fees, but also for aftercare or extracurricular activities, this is excellent because you have a very organized view of the fees loaded. And when you are still getting to know the new school fees and you're trying to get your mind around what is current school fees and what is the new fees, you can simply check your inventory and answer inquiries or the bulk of phone calls coming in asking what is the new school fees for 2024. Now we've loaded our school fees in our inventory list, so now we will be moving to invoicing. You can find invoicing under sales. So here you have your tax invoice. Now I normally use this feature when it comes to learners joining our school in the middle of the year or later on in the year, late admissions, if I could say so. But I love and prefer using batch invoicing when it comes to invoicing grades or the entire school for that matter. So once you click on batch invoicing, you'll see a screen of batches we've already invoiced since we've been using RISE. If I could just get to the recent invoices. Here we go. So you will be able to view all the batches that's been invoiced over the year, and you will select create for your new batch invoice. Very important. You will be selecting the date as from when you'll be invoicing the new school fees, 2024. The first is on a Monday, very convenient. And we, as I stated before, depending on your school, we charge school fees annually, so we will charge over a period of 11 months. The date is controlled, that's correct, and then we add. Now this is where the inventory list comes into play. We haven't loaded school fees for 2024 yet, so I'm just going to load 2023 inventory list. We want to charge school fees for grade 1 to grade 7. One invoice per learner, and the amount is, let's say, 15,000. Here, instead of adding one student at a time, which can be time consuming, RISE has a feature where you can select entire grade in one motion. So we want to start invoicing grade 1s. All our grade 1s, and then after selecting the first student, Cole, you will click Control A. Everything is orange, you know that's selected, and you say select in the top left corner. Depending on the total children per grade, this might take some time. There you go. And then within 2 minutes, you have your entire grade listed and ready for the invoice. Very important, you just click Save and Close. And once you've selected Save and Close, how do you know that your children's been invoiced? There will be a blue link reflecting the total amount invoiced on the right under tax invoice amount, and that's how you know that this invoice is currently reflecting on the listed student accounts. Quick, easy, simple, no problems there. And if you're a school who, again, you charge for extracurricular activities like music care and you don't want to invoice an entire grade, you can still use the batch invoicing by simply selecting Add and adding the learners that will be attending music care for the new year. So here we only have 12 learners attending music care. They've all been invoiced and they added in one batch. If you have an inquiry from a teacher who accidentally added a student on the list, but the parent decided rather not to have the child attend music care for the new year, you can simply remove the child here and save and close as you go forward. So that's your inventory and batch invoicing. I just want to get your attention back to single invoicing, which you can do under sales. And you select tax invoice. Now, I usually use this feature when we have late admissions, like I stated earlier. Also very easy, select create. You will be adding in the learner account, let's say 8252, Corin Adams. Make sure you've got the correct time frame. Child is starting at the Canaan on the 24th of October. We invoice over 11 months, our 11th month being November. Make sure you select the parent who's opting to take responsibility of paying school fees, add it to debtors control, and here your inventory list comes into play again. 2023 school fees, amount automatically filters through, and you just say post and close. There you have your recent invoice showing you the date, amount, and you're ready to send a statement to this parent. So I believe we've covered invoicing. Now I would like to draw your attention to school fee statements. So you'll be able to find statements under sales right here. Alrighty. So here I've already got a list of statements generated, but I'm going to show you how you can generate statements for an entire school with just a click of a button. Here, but before we do that, I just want to show you on the screen, you have a couple of features that comes in handy. You have your filtering system. So if you only want to see your grade ones, you can do it easily. You have your list of grade ones and statements generated for each child. But if you want to see a specific class, you're also able to view just the 35 learners in your one grade one class. All right. And along this filtering system, you can also, when you send out your monthly statements, an example, if I could just give you, after we have our annual budget meeting, we prepare a finance letter concerning the school fees for the new year, 2024. So normally in November, when we send out our monthly statements, we make use of the attach file option, where instead of using printers and paper, we save on paper by simply attaching the annual finance letter when we send our monthly statements to the parents. So with one click of a button, you have your parent receiving not only their current school fee statement, but also a letter confirming the new fees that's been approved by the school governing body, and your debit order or any added information that you'd like to include with this specific statement run. The other features here, you're also able to email the statements listed below or print, but I'm first going to demonstrate how to create a school fee statement. All right. On your left, very important, you'll see the date from and to. So this is very helpful, especially when you send out your statements per email and you expect a couple of phone calls from parents with inquiries. So I always make sure that the date I generate my statements will always be from the 1st of January. This allows my parents to view all the payments made throughout the year to date. And today is the 24th of October. All right. On your right, you'll see the grades that you can select. So we're going to generate statements for entire school, so we will not be selecting the grade. But should you prefer to send out statements for specific grade only, or you only want to generate a new statement for one learner, you can use this filtering system. Something that I find very handy is we have parents that normally settle their fees in time to qualify for a 10% discount. But we don't want to bother them with a monthly statement knowing that they've already settled their account. So this filtering system allows us to exclude statements that have a zero or credit balance on their account. All right. You then select show list, give it a minute, and you will view the entire school's accounts with a balance due on their account. And this is not just for school fees. Depending on what you invoice on your statement, you'll be able to view the balance of all invoices loaded per account. Before I select generate statements, this will then generate the new statements according to the instructions I've jotted in. But I just want to draw your attention to the two tabs underneath the grade and class. I've recently been informed that with your inactive learners, you're also able to generate statements for students that have already left the school with an inactive status, but they have a balance on their account. So you'll still be able to collect on outstanding balances of learners who's been out of the school for 1 or 2 years. Sometimes when you prepare handovers, it doesn't make sense to hand over an account with 500 or less on the school fee account. You'll be paying more towards your attorneys than what you will be getting out. So we opt to rather send out monthly statements and SMSs to this inactive accounts until they pay the amount which is due to us. So by selecting inactive students, I just want to quickly demonstrate that for you. Show list. Here we have a small list of inactive learners with a balance due on their account. You'll also be able to view the email addresses that we will be sending the statements to. And you just select generate statements. Just quickly using my filtering system here so I can get to the learners that's left the school. All right, so now you have your list of statements generated. I'm quickly going to demonstrate to the audience how this will show when you decide to send out your monthly school fee statement. So usually we select A, everything is orange, and we click on email. Now you have a new window open in front of you. This shows the statements that you've just selected. We are now going to communicate the accounts to the parents. If you look at your right, you'll see the email addresses filtering through from your learner account, and it differs, so you don't need to worry of someone receiving a statement that's not meant for them. You're completely covered here. And then here you just add your statement body, dear parent and guardian. Kindly see attached your current statement of account. If you have a signature that you'd like to add to the bottom of your email, you can just make sure that you've loaded as a document or picture. Pictures. Statement account signature. And you can view it immediately under custom message to your parent. Again, you select any student under document sending, Control A, make sure everyone is listed orange, and then you simply click send. Now, while you wait on the statements being sent to the accounts, you can then also keep track of it by opening the email that's being used for sending statements. Just want to have a look what's going on here. I know what's the matter. Sometimes when there's an email field empty, RISE won't send a statement until you filled in the email that is not reflected in the field above. So I just want to quickly go through each of them and make sure every statement has an email. There's our culprit. So what I do here is I remove the statement that has no email, and we'll get back to that now. Here we go. Control A and send. RISE will give you notification, sending emails, and how you can watch or make sure what the progress is to sending emails. Here you'll be able to see the emails being sent to the parents listed with your signature and your email body. RISE will also give you a notification at the bottom of the screen saying emails has been sent. So you are not restricted to wait on the screen. You can continue with other administrative tasks while the emails are being sent. And once you get a pop-up at the bottom of your screen from RISE stating emails have been sent, you can simply return to your statements and send out the next grade. And by refreshing, you'll be able to see which statement has been sent and at what time. Excellent for record keeping, or when you have a parent phoning stating they haven't yet received their statements, you can give them the exact date and time of which the document was sent. Here we go. And then while we are on statements, let's say, for example, you have a parent who does not have an email address. RISE has an excellent filtering system where you'll be able to identify the accounts that did not have an email address linked to. For example, we've got USTA here, who did not have a statement. So you simply select Control A and select the learners without an email address. Go to your More Actions, Export List. You can select the columns that you'd like. Email status, no, that's not necessary. The rest is fine. And RISE will take you to a printout screen that you can use to keep record that instead of sending the statements via email, you can now send it home with the child or per registered postage, depending on how you process outgoing statements without linked email addresses. And I believe that concludes our statement category. Just want to check what's next on the list. So next, I would like to show you the settings. Now, when you reach your settings tab under quick menu, this is where you will be setting up your information on RISE, such as your school symbol, there we go, your school logo, the school's name, address, contact details, contact person, website. RISE gives you an opening field to add in more than less information. And then you have your general settings. If you work on a live API and you integrate with a second system, this is where you'll be able to select. Here we have a specific email used for sending statements. So this is where you will be linking your school email for statements. And account settings, this is where our Bursa comes into play, making sure that everything corresponds to the budget. And then I would like to show you the print form setup, which is one of my favorites. Here you have a list of documents that you can generate and send to either the parent or a supplier. And here you have complete control over what must reflect on your statement and where. So you'll see at the top, this is the print form. You can select the envelope size. You've got quite a list there. If you're a school that charges school fees monthly, you can include monthly invoices. What you want to display on your statement is listed below. You simply need to select the square that you want included. So currently we want an email included, our website, fax, terms, hide statement number, and show family code, which is our reference number. Two features that I've recently been using is the show description and the show method tab, which is excellent. It will touch base on your bank stream, which we will be viewing shortly, because depending on the payment method that you indicate on bank stream, that will reflect on the school fee account. So let's say, for example, you have a parent, they have a debit order in place, but they've chosen that the school fees go off via debit order, and they prefer to come and pay with their card at the school for the aftercare. The statement will then clearly show which transaction has been made via debit order and which has been made via card transaction or EFT. If I could quickly just show you, give you an example of that. Here we go. So the parent that I've selected now is one of our debit order parents. On their monthly statement, you'll be able to view that their payment method was strictly via debit order and not EFT. Which comes in handy when you have a parent inquiring on their debit order payments or EFT transactions. All right. Statement invoice layout, we've already covered that. And then I would like to move over to the next line item, which is bank stream. So under the bank tab, you'll be viewing your bank stream item. Alrighty. So here on bank stream, you'll be viewing the live income and outcome on your bank account, the school's bank account. So here you'll see we've recently done outgoing payments. Tuesdays and Thursdays is when we do our outgoing payments to our suppliers. So all this needs to be matched. But what's very incredible and nice on the bank stream feature is that you can compare your live bank stream to your bank statement and it will correspond. At the top, you'll see your bank ledger versus your ledger balance. So the bank balance, the difference between these two is the amounts that have yet to be matched on bank stream. So here I'm just going to demonstrate to you how you match payments to the student account via bank stream. So here we have a payment of 2,000 odd. We're going to match it now to a student account. You can either match it directly to a given invoice, or if you can pick up that this is a school and aftercare payment, you can do so by splitting the amount. Here's where you add the student account. Sometimes you have siblings, like here. The family code T074 belongs to two students, Jessie and Kathy. So we'll first split the school fee amount to the one learner as such. Sometimes we'll have a student account that's been paid in full. How we know that is that there's no invoice reflecting under the family code, and that tells you that, okay, the parents already settled the one sibling's account in full. So in that case, you will just change the student information by selecting the second letter, Kathy Timotheus. And instead of splitting the amount, you will then allocate the full balance of the payment directly to Kathy's tax invoice. There we go. Select, match, and OK. And there you have your transaction matched to the correct student. Now, sometimes you'll have more than one finance officer working on bank stream. If I could use Deactivate as an example, I usually allocate incoming payments towards our debtors, while our cashier will be allocating outgoing payments for our record. Sometimes when it comes to the end of a month where we have bulk payments coming in, parents settling on the 25th or on their salary day, then we will assist each other by allocating all the income together on the bank stream. But to avoid confusion, we will make use of the notes. So let's say I'm currently on bank stream and my colleague is also matching and allocating on bank stream. Should my colleague come across an odd amount paid by a parent, she will leave me a note that says, CC, please verify, which will give me an instruction. Rather than just matching and approving payments, I will be able to verify an amount before allocating it to the necessary school fee statement. This also comes in handy if you have a strict verification protocol to rather have one person match the transactions incoming and outgoing and another approve the transactions. So here on your right, you'll see in green, the action listed below is approve. Once you select approve, I'm just going to demonstrate. under your approved transaction tab at the top. Okay, here we go. We are now on our approved transactions. So under this tab, you will view all the income received since date of using RISE and everything that's been approved by our bursar and allocated to the accounts listed right under this tab. So I just want to find that amount that's been approved. One moment, please. Here we go, T074. 2,000 odd allocated to account T074. So here you'll be able to see exactly where the approved transaction it's been sent to, and here you'll see it's been allocated to Kathy Timotheus. If you want to double check, is the payment reflecting on the student account? You can simply double check. Bob's your uncle, you're immediately on a student account. And there's the payment allocated on the school fee statement. This comes really in handy under your approved transactions tab on BankStream. You can also, depending on parent inquiries or account inquiries, this is where you can also search to identify or locate payments with incorrect payment reference from the parents. Some of our parents use the initial and surname for their payment reference, but we as a school don't know for whom is this payment meant. We don't have a C. Pretorius, we only have a Jonathan Pretorius. So it's safer to allocate the payment to an unknown deposit account until the parent comes knocking on our door with proof of payment. In that case, depending on what the payment reference is, your bank stream under approved transactions is one of the many ways of searching or assisting parents with the inquiries. So let's say I want to find a payment with the reference T074. You can make use of the search list data. By selecting that, you have two tabs that you can change for your search. So you want to search the description. You're also able to search the date of payment, the document, is it a student account, is it an outgoing payment, the exact amount which was paid, or the description. And we want to search on T074. Fine. Give the system a minute to quickly do a search on all the transactions. And there you have a stunning breakdown of all payments received with that exact reference T074. If your parent would like a list and they're not satisfied with the statement showing all the payments received, simply go to More Actions, Output List, and you have an Excel sheet that you can email them or print out depending on whether your parent is physically here or waiting on the other side of the phone for your answer. So this feature is very helpful. You can also search via an alphabetical order if that's necessary. If you want to select a certain time period for your search, or if you simply just want to do a printout of the entire bank stream for the entire year of 2023 or just the month of Jan, you can also do so. It's quite easy. The filtering system is very helpful and very nice and user-friendly. All right, and then you have your excluded transactions. So we bank with ABSA. when we send emails directly from our bank account, we are charged R1.25, which we don't currently have an account to allocate it for. So we simply exclude these transactions on our, our live bank stream. And yes, I think that is all I have to say on BankStream. There's multiple searching features, so you can really play around and see what works best for you. If you also would like to include a tab on your live BankStream, you can go to settings and you can also, just like your statement, you can select, I want a column viewing my class, and I want a column that shows me the date that's been imported, and with a click of a button, it will reflect on your screen. There you go. Added columns, date imported, and time. I believe that covers BankStream. I will now be moving on to journal entries. Journals you can find under sales. Oh, my bad. Journals are allocated under accounting, journal entries. So those of you who've been working with Pastel, you will see an immediate difference compared to Pastel accounting and Rise accounting when working with journals. Rise has a much more modern look when it comes to your journal entries. And you'll also be able to search for your journal entries quite easily by taking note of what's been written in the note, the date, the reference or the number, even the amount. So here, journals, what is journals? Journals is a way of moving payments or amounts from one account to another. So as a debt collector, I usually use journals for either my 10% discount allocations, my school fee exemptions that's been granted, and my, depending on what the parent's inquiry is, payments from my unknown deposits to the learner account. So here, if I could quickly show you an exemption journal. Here we go. So this is my exemption journals. This is what they look like after you've created it. So you have your number. Each of my exemptions have a sign-out number, starting with the year 2023, applicant number 100. This parent got their feedback on the 27th of September, qualified for full exemption. If you move to the below tab, you'll see number 1 under account. I'm immediately slotting in my exemption budget account. I will be debiting the amount of 14,600 and I'm allocating it to my debtors, and the student is Tyrone Stevens, and it's been allocated to the tax invoice dated 2023. Now, how this reflects on a school fee statement, I will show to you now. Tyrone Stevens. You can view it via your document journal and or your school fee statement. It really doesn't matter. So here you see journal entry dated the 27th of September. But now I want to see what the parent will be seeing on his account. And here you see exemption full, 14,600 full exemption, and they have 0 balance due at the end of the year. What we also do is when a student were to cancel their aftercare or a parent cancels their child's aftercare, we also make the necessary adjustments via journal entry, and it is quite simple. I will be demonstrating how we do a journal entry from scratch. So I normally make sure the date is correct, depending on the inquiry. It will be a 10% discount allocation. We normally allocate discounts on the 1st of March, adding our first tab. So our discount account number here we go, 10% discount is 0017. And what makes it so nice, right? The system is so flexible that you can either type in the budget account description, which is discount 10%, or the budget account number, which is 0017. Irrespective of what you type in, you will get the correct account. And here we will be allocating a discount of 1463 to our debtors. Dimension 1 is our student account, and we will be allocating a 10% discount to family code M368 Yama. Be sure to allocate it to the correct document. So here you have a list from RISE. You can allocate it to a credit note, debit note, journal entry, or in this case, a tax invoice. Be sure that you allocate it to the correct tax invoice. So our allocation will be towards the school fees that's been settled in full, 2023 tax invoice. And a note for myself, I will just type in the learner account number. If you still need to do your journal entries with printed documents, this comes in handy, because when you do your printout of this document, you'll have the account number or any notes that you'll be using attached to this document. And this system, just to draw your attention to the above tab here, attach files. RISE creates an opportunity for you to go paperless in certain aspects like your journal entries. If you have a paper trail or email trail supporting the reason for this journal, you can attach that paper trail, and when your auditor comes to school and he pulls this certain account, you can just give them access to RISE and they'll be able to view the paper trail on the journal itself. And that is an amazing feature when it comes to saving on paper and printouts or even binders or files. You can really load the documents and link it to the necessary actions on RISE so that you can view it quick and easy, mail it directly to the recipient, or just have it on file for when you expect an audit from either WCD or your external auditor. So here we're going to post and close. And I'm quickly going to show you how it looks like on a student account. M368. Ayama. Depending on your journal date, the 1st of March, journal entry 1463 has been allocated. If you want to see what the parent will be viewing, 10% discount, 1463. And yes, you also have a continuous list. You build a list of journals that's been created on Rise and it stays there. And you can really manage it well if you're clever and you jot in the correct information under number and your note. Because under notes, it will reflect on the student account. Number is just for your records. If you need to run a search on a handover journal, you'll be searching it here, 2022. Handover. And not only do you have to create a journal entry per handed over account, here I've just opened one large journal consisting of over 200 journal entries on accounts that's been handed over to our attorneys. And whether or not you do your handovers manually or you do it electronically, if you do it electronically, you can just go to more actions, output list, select the data you want to reflect on your spreadsheet, print out and send it with your batch of handovers once off. Simple, easy, convenient, and it's not time consuming at all. I believe we've covered journals. If there's any questions, we can discuss it at the end of this forum. My next line item would be the budget plan actual. So budget plan actual, you'll be able to view under accounting, reports, budget plan actual. Just make sure the dates correspond, the 1st of the 1st, 2023 until December 2023. And here you have a thorough report of all your existing income and expense accounts loaded onto Rise, the actual budgeted amount versus the amount that's been approved or budgeted for, the value over budgeted, and the percentage corresponding to that. So if I could just get your attention to the exemption budget. So the actual amount spent to date on our exemption budget is just over 1 million. The actual amount budgeted for this account is 1.7, so we have 666,000 left to spend on this budget account, and that is 62% of the actual amount that we've budgeted for our exemptions. So this is an excellent report, method of reporting for your quarterly finance meeting with SGB members, and or your monthly finance reports with the SGB treasurer or principal, depending on the school's need and the amount of students in your school. This is excellent reporting, and it's not time consuming. If you need a more detailed report and you want to know exactly how many students have been exempted, for example, you can drill down on the account itself, select transactions, and you have a list of each journal entry and the amount of each journal. And based on this, you can tell your SGB members present how many parents have applied, how many students qualified for full, partial, or no exemption at all. And if you need to have even more detail and see who's this child that's qualified for 14,630, it takes you directly to the journal. So this is really, it's simple, it's easy. you just click left or right and you're immediately where you want to be from wherever you are on the system. You don't need to close each and every window to get to payments. You simply select the link and you are there. So it's user-friendly and it's very nice to work with. And I believe that concludes my part of this meeting. I don't think I've got anything else I need to show on the system for you. Is there any questions, or Anna, is there something you'd like to mention before we get to our questions on the system?
Hi, Clarissa. Thank you so much for that. I was hoping actually just to introduce Anna to give us just a bit of a, an update. What's new on RISE? What's been happening? Exciting things for the future. Thank you so much for your in-depth scaling of the system. It's actually so nice to see.
Okay.
I trust that everybody's obviously enjoyed that as well. We've probably got lots of questions, but I think I'm going to hand over to Anna just to give us a bit of an update. Anna?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for an introduction. I think before I share the updates, let's see if there are questions that you would like to ask. And before we take questions, thank you so much, Clariska, for such a detailed presentation. I've learned a few things, and I hope that it was useful for our attendees as well. So if you would like to ask a question, you can just unmute your microphone, or you can type it in the chat window, whatever works for you. All right. Should you still want to ask a question, you're more than welcome to leave it in our chat window, or also just say it out loud once you unmute your microphone button. And I would like to share a few updates. So to summarize what we've looked at a full cycle of getting school fees in. So we've looked at invoicing learners, we've looked at creating journals, statements, various ways of keeping your evidence-based trail on the system for parents, for auditors, and other stakeholders. It was also helpful to see how you can send out statements to inactive learners, the ones who have basically left the school, and how to search for a certain reference number on a bank stream. So thank you again, Clariska. It was really useful. And now I would like to share a couple of updates. So how is the RISE system different from other systems? So schools call it a one-stop shop. And the reason for that, because it has finance management, admin, communication, the O43 form report, and a lot of other reports that schools require. So it suits primary, high schools, as well as government and independent schools. And it was created together with schools. If we look at the O43 form report, it saves schools who use the system between 3 and 4 weeks per term. And this gives the time that bursars can then use, for other essential tasks at the school. We have also received encouraging and great feedback. So after using a system for about a year, schools have noticed a school fee increase in terms of getting more school fees in. And the increase is between 10 and 15%. So if we look at what it actually means, So say, for instance, if the school fee amount, the annual amount, is 2 million rand, a 10% increase is 200,000 rand annually. If the annual school fees amount is 5 million rand, then the 10% increase on that would be 500,000 rand. So not only does it offset, the cost of the system, but it also gives a nice surplus to schools to work with, to make sure that they provide quality education to learners and to parents. So when is a good time, if you are thinking possibly to and considering the RISE system for your school, when is it a good time to switch over? So currently, October, mid-October is a good time, generally speaking. And the reason for that, because onboarding happens now in October and November, so that in January next year, you can start from a clean slate in the system. It gives you that preparation time that is basically required to bring in your information, to make sure that you are trained on the system, and then it allows you to start from January and work in the system as it comes. So you'll be able to basically capture your payments, invoice learners, send out statements, starting from January as the school year starts. So in terms of onboarding, we do guided onboarding with our schools, and what it means is that the information that gets collated, bursars or admin officers import into the system with the guidance of the RISE consultant. And the reason for this is because you will then be empowered to know how to import information from the start. You are in control and you will see what has been imported, what you still need to import, and it makes the process quite easy going forward. It also, the import process is very easy. It is quite straightforward. But for you to ease into the system and to make sure that you know how everything works, we provide that assistance so that the information gets imported correctly and in accordance with system requirements and, of course, your school requirements. So once the import process is done, we train bursars, admin officers, as well as principals as required by your school to make sure that you know how to use the system and also that you are fully equipped and empowered to use it for your daily tasks and crucial processes. So basically, the process that we follow, we have a full list of items that we follow through in terms of training schools. But if there are specific things that you as a school would like to expand on or possibly maybe focus on other items, we take it into account and we try to basically adjust the training process to what your school requires and what your school needs. That's how we do it. So this brings me to my next point, which is our November special offer for schools. And this is basically to welcome schools if you are considering our system for future use. And we offer a discount, and it depends on your quantile. So we want to make our system accessible. We want to make it as affordable as possible. And hence, we are doing this special offer that we can share with you if you would like to maybe learn a bit more what it entails. And the way to do it is basically we are inviting bursars, principals, admin officers to an interactive one-on-one meeting with the RISE SA team. And basically, you will be able to not just learn a bit more about the system, but also to try it out for yourself. So what we will do is we will create users for you, and you will be able to do various things in the system during the meeting in real time so that you actually can explore it for yourself. Is it actually user-friendly? Can it help your school to get more school fees? Can it simplify your life? Can it save you time? Can it give you more tools to collect more fees and more outstanding debt? Can it assist your principal with accessing crucial information? Can it help you with reporting for SGB or FinCom or principal for that matter? So we are inviting you to join us for such a meeting if you would like to try it out for yourself. And so what I will do, I will share a link with you. It's a very quick link. You can just fill it in with the information, requesting such a meeting, and we will get back to you to confirm the slot. You can just basically select a time and the day when it suits you, and we will confirm if it's available. And otherwise, you can also, confirm or request it via WhatsApp, which I will share in a second.
Thank you, Anna. I think from here, I'd like to just extend and onto what Anna said. We definitely do have this available. I think that it's an awesome opportunity. There's obviously no obligation to meet with the RISE team one-on-one, obviously with whomever is pertinent to the conversation on the sport end. Figured out it's really a unique way of letting you guys in on how the system works, doing the touchy-feely sort of exploring on your own instead of sitting on one side and being told about it or being showed. I think Clarissa did an absolutely amazing job, however. And I definitely learned a few things. She was actually quite thorough, as Anna said. So in closing, I definitely want to invite you guys to take up the opportunity. If there is anyone that still has any questions, would like to add any comments, we hope that it was as interactive and insightful as possible. Please let us know. Please put it in the chat. Happy to answer any questions. You can obviously just unmute yourself and go ahead and introduce yourself. We're happy to do that as well. I think I'll wait for a few seconds if anybody wants to. But furthermore, I'd like to obviously to just take up Anna's opportunity and come and meet with us. We've also got a very nice special that we've we've got a nice addition to that special. We're still running the special on top of our winter special with going into spring and summer, where you do get a free UPS for your fiber or your security system, or a gas stove when you do sign up. Gas stove, obviously, if you need to keep some coffee warm during load shedding, or possibly feed your students. We've obviously got a varied amount of schools, and they've got different needs. So that has helped a lot of schools over the time period that we've had the promotion, and I hope that it can continue to do so. So then I think we'll close. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. A rather small team, but I think that we did well. I think that everybody who came must have lifted something good. I hope that it was good talking. And we'll see you in our next forum, hopefully, or possibly on a one-on-one.